And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking all the news coming out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix from Ferrari taking the ball. Yeah, Ferrari potentially, as you can see, maybe to the right, to the left of me, Ferrari planning an assault on Red Bull team staff. No, they're not going to punch them. They're going to steal them. Potentially. So from Ferrari stealing things to maybe Massa stealing a title or not, depending on what you think about that story. But Massa has filed a lawsuit against, I think, the FIA, Formula One, and potentially Bernie Ecclestone. Haas pretty much admitting they were wrong, like we suggested with Mr. Magnussen holding everyone up. I think they've got absolutely every right to normally, but I think Magnussen kind of cheated himself there by cutting corners, hitting people, and not letting people by potentially when he should, I feel. Also, why Danny Rick was so slow. Yeah, we called him one of the losers of the race the other day. Are we going to feel bad about doing that? Maybe. And Toto admitting that Mercedes have issues. Good, because they do. Let's be honest. Things come in threes. 3 bad years, and that's it. Let's hope for Mercedes fans. So, Ferrari taking the ball. Let's size that one up a bit. So this is from planetf1.com. And reports in Italy are claiming that Ferrari are planning an assault on the magic circle of Red Bull's technical team, targeting 3 figures who work closely with their technical director, Pierre Wache. Now, although it's been a long known that Ferrari wants to sign the Red Bull design guru, Adrian Newey, the Scuderia has even made 3 confirmed attempts. More recently, they are said to have turned their attention to Wache. So, yes, who is Wache? Well, Ferrari reportedly chasing Red Bull's brains trust. Last year, Red Bull team boss Horner revealed Wache had made it clear to him he was not set to swap Red Bull for Ferrari. Now, in terms of personnel moving to Ferrari, certainly at a senior or medium level, there's nothing planned, Horner said, adding, individuals have been mentioned in connection with Ferrari, came to see me last year and mentioned their disbelief in some of these rumours. However, last month, fresh rumours emerged confirming Wache was now seriously considering a move to Maranello after the team signed a certain 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. But according to the Gazzetta dello Sport, it is not Wache who Ferrari are interested in, but signing 3 well-placed personnel within his team. Now, referring to increasingly insistent and consistent rumours, the Italian publication is reporting that there are intensified contracts with some members of the technical office of the World Championship team, calling it an assault on the Magic Circle, made up, I just think of the Magic Roundabout, but the Magic Circle's made up of technicians working closely with technical director Pierre Wache, who Mr. Wache, like it says here, is essentially Adrian Newey's right-hand man. And the publication says Ferrari are interested in at least 3 figures who occupy that crucial position of engineering and detailed definition of development. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, are Ferrari set for a renaissance a la Schumacher when he went there? Yes, he was a 2 times champion and a younger, but now Ferrari, they've got Leclerc, they've got Hamilton, potentially in a few years a certain Mr. Behrman sitting in the wings. Things are getting exciting. Also, things are getting exciting for former Ferrari driver, champion-elect for maybe like half a minute, Felipe Massa. Yet Massa, he's filed a lawsuit against the FIA and FOM over the 2008 F1 Singapore Grand Prix. Who saw this coming? Possibly. Ex-Ferrari driver Felipe Massa has filed a lawsuit in the London High Court against the FIA, FOM and a certain Bernard Ecclestone over that 2008 Singapore Grand Prix Crashgate scandal. Oh, Felipe, he was so good, wasn't he, when he finished the race? Did the banging on the chest, go Brazil, absolutely. We all loved him for that. He took it so well. What's happening now? No, Felipe, don't leave the memories alone. So on Monday, representatives of Massa confirmed that action had been lodged in the High Court of Justice against 3 parties, as the Brazilian who missed out on the 08 championship to Lewis Hamilton by 1 point believes that the result of the Marina base should be avoided. Infamously, Renault driver Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed, as you may know, to trigger that safety car, enabling a certain Fernando Alonso to take victory. Hamilton finished second as Massa failed to score following a botched pit stop. This is the thing, they had a botched pit stop. You were out of the race anyway, but you want to avoid that race. Okay, but then, if you remember, Hamilton got a penalty losing the race for the Belgian Grand Prix because he didn't let Raikkonen through quickly enough when he kind of crossed the line, but it was wet, everyone was going everywhere, and then Raikkonen crashed out anyway, so I thought that was particularly harsh. And then if this is successful, hello, Abu Dhabi 2021, I mean, it's just going to open up this massive can of worms. So, in an interview last year, Eccleston claimed that there was sufficient information available at the time for the case to have been investigated, and the result was thrown out. However, the former F1 Supremo later said that he didn't remember the interview. Okay, Bernie. Now, according to a statement from a Brazilian law firm, which I'm not going to pronounce, but you can see it there, Mr. Massa is seeking declarations to promptly investigate Nelson Piquet Jr.'s crash at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, and that it acted properly. Mr. Massa would have won the Drivers' Championship that year. Yeah. Mr. Massa also seeks damages for the significant financial loss he has suffered due to the FIA's failure, in which Eccleston and the FOM were also complicit. Okay, I get that maybe he could have damages from that, but he won't be the 2008 F1 champion. At most, he might get damages. But then, if they give him damages, that'll be bad for the FIA, because that's, everyone's showing that they were wrong to do so. I don't know. Massa's legal team had submitted a question to the FIA, but replies were delayed by the 2023 season summer break, and that meant key personnel were unavailable. The statement continued, attempts to find an amicable resolution has been unsuccessful, leaving Mr. Massa with no choice but to initiate legal proceedings. The FIA is also under heightened scrutiny after a whistleblower has come forward alleging that governing body president Mohammed Ben Salem attempted to intervene in the race result for 2023. He wasn't around in 2008, as the president at least, to overturn a penalty given to Alonso because they touched his car during a pit stop. That's getting into another story. Let's move on. Oh, Felipe. Leave the memories alone. Haas admit they were wrong. Yes, this is from motorsport.com as well. Haas have conceded that they should have, that Magnussen should have let Tsunoda pass. Yes, the naughty team print. I don't think he's naughty there. They got a point. Let's be fair to them, and they did it. I think many people, me personally, do not have a problem with Magnussen holding them up. That's fine. That's Formula One. If you had a problem with that, all you Max fans should have had a problem with, and Red Bull fans, Perez holding Lewis up for the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I didn't. It's motor racing. Schumacher did it in 1999 with Mika Hakkinen while he let Irvine scamper off the win to win in Malaysia. It happens. It's a sport. It's also a team sport. But, and here's the but, Magnussen not only hit Albon, 10-second penalty. I'm glad it's harsher. I think it should be a drive-through. But then he was racing Tsunoda and then went across the track and kept his position when he should have really, at that point, let Tsunoda by. Kind of what Piastri did to Lewis Hamilton. But Magnussen didn't. He was steadfast. Once again, I think that should be a drive-through penalty, not a 10-second. You shouldn't get a time penalty for something like that when someone so obviously would have got past had the other guy not cheated. Essentially, I mean that's how I see it anyway. But Haas team principal come out to accept Kevin Magnussen should have let Yuki Tsunoda pass in Jeddah after overtaking him off the track, but he praised his defensive teamwork. Yeah, most of the time he defended really well, apart from that one incident when it was checkmate, let him go. Magnussen's own Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was ruined by incurring a 10-second penalty, as we know, for contact with Alex Albon. His focus then shifted to holding up others, so his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who hadn't stopped under that early safety car Capella gap and claimed 10th. Crucial to that strategy was overtaking the RB of Yuki Tsunoda on lap 17, which Magnussen did by leaving the track. Now, instead of giving the position back, he opted to cop an additional, largely irrelevant 10-second penalty, which allowed him to keep blocking his rival so Hülkenberg could pit and come out. RB slammed the move as unsportsmanlike, and it was, and said it would raise the issue of the FIA. Now, for the season, the FIA they've already increased this penalty for gaining an advantage to 10 seconds, and while it technically worked for Magnussen, because at that point his race, as says it, his race was wrecked. It didn't stop him from aiding his teammate. Now, Haas chief Komatsu, he's accepted that Magnussen should have just given the place back and tried to get past the Japanese driver again, which he believed the Dane had the pace for. He said, I believe at that point in the race, if I remember the projection very well, we were fighting with Tsunoda for P10, Komatsu said. Of course, we should have given the place back. We should have tried to overtake him. I believe with our pace, we could have done that. So I think the end result, we were there. They were still looking at P10. I think, but I think Magnussen was naughty. Daniel Ricciardo. Why Danny Rick was so slow? We gave him one of the losers of the race. Were we wrong? I don't think so. I mean, he didn't do very well in qualifying, did he? But I want to be proven wrong. I want Daniel Ricciardo to do well. I want him to go to that other Red Bull seat in a way and take the fight to Max Verstappen, because he was there or thereabouts, wasn't he? Just when he left. Has he improved? Maybe not. I mean, his McLaren days weren't too great. His Renault days were solid. But it says here, new Saudi GP footage helps explain Ricciardo's latest, it's sad, isn't it? Latest poor race. I don't think Bahrain was that poor. But the talk surrounding Ricciardo's rough start to 2024 has intensified after that P16 showing in the Saudi Arabia. Though a contribution, it says, a huge contribution to that outside of his control, was initially missed. Ricciardo is using the 24 campaign as an audition to get that Red Bull seat for 2025, should they decide not to keep Perez. However, the opening round of the season have proven alarming in regards to Ricciardo's goals, and having been out-qualified in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia by teammate Yuki Tsunoda and finished P16 and a place behind the Japanese driver at this most recent Grand Prix, Ricciardo finished one spot ahead of Tsunoda in Bahrain, but that was after team orders. Perez, meanwhile, they said has made the perfect start. He kind of has. He's finished P2 twice, so he's doing his job. Qualifying not so much, but okay. Sunday is the day the points count, unless it's a sprint weekend. And there you go. Ricciardo is destined for disappointment, it says, on his Red Bull comeback mission. Footage emerged from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which takes huge weight off his shoulders. Okay. Untelevised on-board footage shows Ricciardo falling victim to a horrendous pit stop at the Jeddah circuit, with the time spent 41 seconds due to a problem fitting his new race tyres. He alluded to this pit stop when speaking to the Formula One website post-race, at which point it was not apparent just how severely this 41, it's almost as long as Bottas' Monaco one, had affected his Saturday evening. And so the Aussie, I forgot about this, admitted improvement is needed, and it's quite clear how to achieve it, with Ricciardo having also, this is the thing, but he spun at the turn one, and that was all his own doing. Tough weekend, he admitted. I think the only thing that's probably keeping me a little bit optimistic now is we did find a few things that's positive. And he said, because I've driven a long time, I know when things don't feel quite right, but on the one hand it's nice to find a few things, but on another it meant that it was pretty painful weekend. So that's obviously frustrating. I think big test, Australia, home race, points. Ricciardo, points. We need points, please get some points. Last but not least, Toto Wolff has admitted that Mercedes have had problems. No way, Jose. Really? Toto Wolff's early Australian Grand Prix prediction as Mercedes chase a fundamental change. He concedes that Mercedes, whoa, I'm getting a bit sick there. He concedes that Mercedes are missing something when it comes to unlocking the potential of their F1 car. And they've been looking for 2 years. Yeah, things come in threes, I said. Let's hope not. But Mercedes boss, he's 100% sure, as the last 2 years, he did mention he was, that the team can unlock performance as soon as the next race. Let's hope so. They have gone well in Australia before, haven't they? The last 2 years they've done, I think George Russell, Hamilton, at one point, it was a 1-2. The Australian Grand Prix on March the 24th. Mercedes is chasing this fundamental change for 2 years thing, so they're lacking the downforce and pace for the high-speed corners. That was completely evident in the first sector when Hamilton was racing Norris. Norris was gone. He was like a dot on the horizon, but then Hamilton drew him back in the faster speed stuff. But the Mercedes was not that fast in a straight line. It was just the McLaren was so slow. But the difficulties in the W15 have opened up the prospect of a second consecutive winless season. Come on, Mercedes. Wolff admits there is something they still need to unlock the car's potential, but it's something they've spent 2.5 years looking for already. The Holy Grail. So this, the thing between the 2.5 years is that we're chasing a fundamental change. He said it's been 2 years, that there is something we need to spot, and that's the thing to unlock. We have just got to work. It's not through lack of trying. We've pushed so hard, and we're going to give it a massive go now in the next week with more data to understand. And he said, we are going to come back to Melbourne strong. We are on a mission on this one, and I'm 100% sure that we are going to unlock that performance gap. Please do, and beat Max Verstappen for pole and have an exciting race where one of the two Mercedes wins. Or one of the Ferraris. That'd be great, wouldn't it? But there we go. That's pretty much our headlines. Stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be more news. There always is. It's absolutely crazy at the moment, isn't it? And, you know, I mean, what is it? Günther Steiner, gone. Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. Horner, gone, not gone, gone, not gone. Maybe Helmut Marko's gone. Max Verstappen maybe going to Mercedes. Massa wants the 2008 championship back. Oh, my gosh. We'll speak to you soon. Like and subscribe if you can. If you made it to the end, let us know. You're definitely an F1 champ in our eyes. See you later.